All right, welcome to a Thursday edition of After Whistle. There was a lot going on yesterday, so we had to do the show today. So you get a show on Thursday. So we are here. A lot happening in the sports world. He's here as well. Todd's here as well. We got a lot. There's a lot going on. We're gonna try to fit it in this hour. So where should we start? You know what? Before we get into all the NCAA stuff, let's just start with the NBA right now because trade deadlines is happening. Moves are being made. Celtics just made a move for Evan Fournier from the Magic. The Magics are like cleaning house. They got Evan Fournier. They traded him for some picks, and they had some cash. I don't know how much better this makes them, but I guess they needed to do something. But it's
well, we were talking about throughout the weeks how you need a shooter. I wasn't a fan of this trade. This signing at all, just because we needed a big. There were a plethora of bigs being shifted around the league, and we missed out, which is rare for the Celtics. But whenever people lose their mind, and Danny Ainge usually comes through in the offseason or something. So
he needs to, and I'm just looking at this like, okay. They could have got Aaron Gordon. I don't know. He would have made him a little better, but I don't know. They did something. They had to do something. They did something. Maybe this just gives them a little spark or something. Because sometimes you don't need a drastic change. Or maybe but with these guys, I don't know with these guys.
You usually don't need a drastic change if you have all the right pieces in each spot. But you don't have size, really. We have size compared to Golden State.
Yeah.
But we don't have size compared to the 76ers.
Yeah.
So we needed to try to capitalize on that. At least get DeAndre Drummond.
Drummond, yeah.
A McGee, just because size, and he's actually came into his own over the past couple of years, playing the game way more seriously.
Even Vucevic, who got traded to the Bulls, and the Bulls, they got rid of Otto Porter Jr., Wendell Carter Jr. They sent them to Orlando for Nikola Vucevic and Al-Farouq Aminu. Vucevic makes that Bulls team a lot better. Granted, their stars are pretty young, but they're going to be interesting because the East is just, they could still get a playoff spot in the East.
Yeah, East wide open.
So good move on them. Also, the Nuggets acquired JaVale McGee, and they also acquired Aaron Gordon. They traded R.J. Hampton and Gary Harris Jr. for that. That's a good pickup for the Nuggets.
They won. They won out of that. They won out of that deal just because Gary Harris can play, but he wasn't the shooter he has been the past year. I think he's still coming back from that injury, trying to be 100%. Yeah. So, and then R.J. Hampton, he's mostly based off potential.
Yeah.
Just because he's young, and he'll probably come into his own next couple of years, but. They're definitely for winning now. Yeah. The Nuggets definitely won.
Good thing he's going to Orlando because they tanking for Cade Cunningham. So the way they just cleaned house with everything. Also some other news. George Hill to the Sixers. They traded him. It was a part of a 3-team deal. The Austin Rivers. They traded Austin Rivers. The Sixers got George Hill. They also I believe Tony Bradley. And good moves on them. Good, but George Hill, a vet.
Nothing wrong with getting vets that can produce.
Yeah, they were looking at getting Kyle Lowry, but clearly that didn't happen. So that for that team is good. I think Danny Green is on the move. Might be on the move too. They might at some point trade Danny Green on the move. So hey man, some of the Sixers, Embiid comes back 100%. Them in Brooklyn are gonna be a tough out to beat. Also Miami, the Heat, they're looking to try to get Kyle Lowry. It's they're already good, but it's just like
I'm a Heat fan. I like taller guards that position.
Yeah, and I don't think they really need him because they have at the guard position. I think they're all set. They got 3 or 4 guys already that they got in rotation, so they really don't need him. So that is the NBA news right now. There's probably gonna be more news happening before we get up out of here. So if there's breaking news, I'll just, because I'll be on Twitter, so you'll get the info. But, all right, let's go to the NCAA tournament, and we are going to talk about, so we're in the Sweet 16, the first weekend is over, so we'll get into some of these games from the first weekend, and the biggest upset of them all was Oral Roberts over Ohio State. Oral Roberts also beat Florida, so they're in the Sweet 16 now. Man, the way that was the biggest bomb of the first weekend was them beating Ohio State. Cause
Yeah, I know. yeah, I know. Cause when I found they beat Ohio State, I thought my bracket was over, and then I realized that I picked Michigan to win it. So I was still in the clear. But nah, congrats to Oral Roberts, man. Ohio State should have won that game. Wide open three to to hit it from your best shooter on your team.
Yeah.
Just didn't fall. But Ohio State had a great season. Definitely had a great season.
They did. I think they underestimated. They gave these guys a little too much confidence, and they have. I didn't know this. Oral Roberts has the nation's leading scorer, and he was getting buckets.
Well, based on the box score, it looked like they had the nation's two leading scorers. Yeah. There's only two guys that was actually scoring.
Yeah. So and when I watched this game, I'm like, okay, Ohio State has a chance. They had a chance at the end, just couldn't execute, and once. And then overtime, dude with the braids, I forget your name, sorry, but he took over in overtime, was getting buckets, and it seemed like Ohio State was struggling. They had to work hard for every bucket they got. Yeah, man.
When you're a low seeded team and you have nothing to lose, you just go out there playing free flow basketball.
Yeah.
And Ohio State, not saying they had pressure on them, but they know that they were supposed to win that game, and I think they might have been a little too tight.
A little bit. Woo! Ooh, man, they was getting there missing free throws, turning the ball over. It was like, man, well, y'all know this is the beauty of the NCAA tournament. One game, and that's it. Yeah, so O'Banner had 30. Kevin O'Banner had 30, who his season average is 19. And then Abmas, hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. Abmas, he had a big game. He averaged 24, and in this one, come on now, come up. And in this one, he had 26. 29 he had in this one. He had 26 against Florida. So that's the thing with the tournament. It's guard driven. If you got good guard play, they're upperclassmen, then you're gonna have a chance at it. And Oral Roberts is on to the Sweet 16 for the first time in program history, I believe. So good luck.
Yeah,
congratulations to them.
That's the man.
And Illinois got set up for TV ratings because the way they put them in the bracket, the people in the tournament knew what they was doing when they had them and Loyola in the same region. Because
bro, this is like there's two. It's like having Abilene Christian and Texas in the same bracket. Like you knew what you were doing. You got this in-state rivalry, even though they barely ever probably play each other. But still, like you're in state. Especially come from a smaller school. Yeah. A lot of them guys probably want to go to Illinois growing up.
Yep.
Then you got guys that are actually from that state going to Illinois. So, they definitely took it upon themselves to show them that, we aren't, I want to say, the little brothers as you guys think we are.
Yeah, and the thing is, Illinois never led in this game. Loyola led from the beginning to the end, and someone on Twitter said Illinois was letting the dead plumber from the Martin episode cook them. Because that boy, he was cooking them. And it started from, I think he had like the first 6 points of the game. And it was just, you're looking at Illinois' big man, it's like, you're supposed to be a league guy. You're supposed to be an NBA guy. And you're getting cooked like this?
Yeah. But, sometimes it's just bad matchups. Kind of like when Shaq says, who was it that he couldn't play against? Was it Big Country?
Yeah, Big Country.
Always give him the business. And Big Country isn't a Hall of Fame player whatsoever. Yeah. So I guess it's just one of them situations where a guy just has your number. And Illinois didn't help. They had way too many turnovers.
Yeah.
These low-seeded teams, they play high-quality basketball. They value the ball because they know they can't turn the ball over as much as these I want to say, these Power 5s can, because they know the Power 5s have got the talent.
Yeah.
So, kudos to Loyola, Maryland. My bad. Loyola, Chicago, and the nun, right?
Yeah, nun. Janine,
I don't know her name. I just know she's a nun.
I just know she's 101 years old.
Really?
Yeah, she's like,
okay.
Yeah, man, she walking Jesus. So.
That's what's up.
And also, Loyola, this is, I think, the last time there was actually a tournament, or the year before, they were in the Final Four. I think it was either the last time or 2018 or 2019.
Man, COVID just made a couple years just blending together.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so they've had a good run the last 3 or 4 years, Loyola. And as you said it's like they're playing against the state school, the big state school, so they probably was like...
And they were ready.
Yeah, they were a little more juiced up.
Yeah,
Illinois, they was playing like, we'll just...
We're supposed to win.
Yeah, we're at some point in this game we'll take over, but then you're getting down 10, 12 points and you're fighting all the way back the whole game, and these guys already have confidence. Tough to do that, and that's why they're going dancing. And it's been a Big Ten and ACC, they took a major hit in this tournament.
Yeah.
All right. Oh man, as you talked about it, Abilene Christian and Texas, this is could I say this was a Texas screw job? Because the way it ended. Now, granted, Texas didn't help themselves with 23 turnovers, but the ending of that game and the ref that made that call, it wasn't even the ref on the baseline. It
wasn't?
It was the other ref on the other side. He made the call, so it was like it's not even your call. You don't even have a clear sight of what's going on. These guys are fighting for a rebound off a block shot. You're supposed to let the players decide. You hold your whistle at that point of the game.
Especially what's on the line.
Right?
Last 2 seconds of the game. They say, like you said, they're fighting for the rebound. Yeah, did the guy get hit? Yeah, but everyone's getting hit down low. So if you really want to zoom in at every position, you could probably call foul on every player.
And it wasn't like it was a clear, he had the board and he was going up for it was just like they're both. I'm like, that is a lot of people. No, social media, nobody liked that call to decide that game. It felt like...
should have went in overtime. Texas should have won. Texas should have won. My bad. They should have won.
Yeah, because they came up with the big plays on the opposite end. I mean, Aaron Jones, he hit 2 clean free throws, and then he made a tough 3 to give them the 1-point lead. The guy, Abilene Christian, had to shoot the free throw. He was like a 40% free throw shooter.
Yeah, man, he knocked them things down. He was 80%.
Yeah. Texas has had a lot of heartbreak in the tournament the past 3 years. There was the buzzer beater against Northern Iowa a few years ago. Then there was another one, I think in 2019. They lost. It's been Shaka Smarts has been there. He's lost 3 tournament games all at the last second of the game.
Yeah, man, he's gonna get over the hump though. I like Shaka Smart, man. And how he's he's not really turned the program around, but he's bringing the program back to where it was.
And he's putting guys in the league.
Yep.
He's like consistently putting guys in the league. So I mean, I think he's put at least 4 or 5 guys in the league since he's gotten to Texas too.
Bringing it back to where it was.
Yeah, and then some people probably will want him fired because he hasn't gone deep in the tournament yet. But it's just like, hey, you can't catch a break. We were saying the same thing about Villanova, and until they rattled off two in a row. Mm-hmm. All right, Ohio, they upset Virginia, and this is the second time in 3 years Virginia has been upset by a double-digit seed team. They lost to the community college in Maryland, in Baltimore a few years back, UMBC, that one, and now to Ohio, and the guard from Ohio, Preston, they say he looked like a long-lost ball brother, the way he plays and the way he passes the ball.
The way he looks.
Yeah, but he can pass that ball.
I mean, the man almost had a triple-double.
Yeah.
11, 13, 8. And he was going through things in life. So,
Yeah.
for him to perform like that on that stage, man, all the power to him. But, let's talk about Virginia, though. I don't know why people are talking about Virginia like it's some, yeah, I get it. They won it a year ago, but, when if they won it after that? Nobody really ever has confidence in Virginia going deep in the tournament.
They always have these early exits in the tournament. Besides that run in 2019, where they were fortunate in that 2019 tournament run because they got some things went their way, and some guys made plays, but there was some stuff that went their way and a little bit of luck too. But yeah, Virginia, it's just their style of play. It's not up to date with this era of basketball. It's just not up to date. That slow pace, use up all the shot clock, make it a 40-30 game, that type of style. It doesn't work. And when you get certain teams in the playoff, in the tournament, they match up pretty well with how you guys play. And if they have 1 or 2 guys that are offensively more talented than your guys, because Virginia never have one guy you could give the ball to who's like, all right, go give me a bucket. It's within the offense.
I was gonna say, if you're only scoring the most 60 points a game, you got a team that has 2 or 3 guys that get you 20, 25,
Yeah.
like, you're most likely probably not going to win.
Yeah.
Just because we guys could end up maybe getting 30, 40.
Mm-hmm.
And then the bench plays and the role plays. So it's just, yeah, I'll be honest, like, I'm just talking about this just to, fill some time.
Yeah.
I could care less about Virginia. Like, I didn't even watch anything in regards to this game. Like, even highlights. I didn't see any of this. Like, I've seen every other game except for Ohio versus Virginia.
I watched the last 5 minutes of it, and yeah, it was the late game execution for Ohio because Virginia did bring it close. I think it was tied at one point, and then Ohio just executed on the offensive end, and Virginia just did not. And another early exit.
And no disrespect to Virginia, the state itself, half my family from there. But
yeah, no.
This game, nah, wasn't for me.
Yeah, I got family down there too, and I had to wear that Virginia shirt a few years ago.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. Mine was kind of fresh.
I should call. I didn't even call my cousin about this, but I'm gonna call him. We're gonna have a little conversation. All right, now moving on. All right, Ohio ended up losing in the second round, but Preston, I think that guy, he's gonna be high on someone's NBA draft board because he showed he can play at a high level. So we'll see. So congratulations to them on that run. All right, Syracuse. Syracuse was the 11th seed, but they're not your typical 11th seed. There were a couple seeds that were like 10 and up that weren't your typical 10 and up seed. Syracuse was one of them. They played a tough one with West Virginia. And Buddy Boeheim, he's been having himself quite the tournament.
Yeah, man. I'm a Cuse fan, so I was rooting for him. I got him going deep in the tournament. I don't have him going, to the Final Four, I don't think, but pretty deep. Yeah, Buddy Boeheim. I think it's dope for, Coach Boeheim to be able to see his son go out there and actually be a productive player. We've seen Division I coaches have their kids on the bench or had their kids trying to be something that just didn't turn out. But yeah, that boy could play. As a team, I don't really like this Cuse team just because there's certain players at positions I feel like they should be at a D2 school. Mm-hmm. Just because like one of the guys they got, he can't really go, he can shoot but can't go by anybody. So when you got long legged defenders, he's a liability, so you gotta put the young boy and the freshman in. Yeah. So like in West Virginia though, that boy can shoot that thing.
Oh yeah, the dude from West Virginia.
Yeah, he can shoot that thing.
West Virginia, that's another team that always has some bad luck in the tournament.
I was gonna say like nobody really, same state, but nobody really even looks to West Virginia to go deep in the tournament either.
Yeah, they did have that run way back. I mean, when they went, I think they won the Elite 8 back in 2009, but they always put good teams together, but then it's like they can't catch a break in the tournament. And then it's always comes down to a last possession here and there with West Virginia, but they always bring out a good team. And yeah, it was just one of those things. It's just like, it's all about matchups, and you just ran into a team that they got a dude he's hot right now, scoring wise, and they couldn't keep up with that.
And and I'm biased anyway, so yeah.
But I'd say this is probably Jim Boeheim's one of his best coaching job, just because of the team that he has and how he has them playing. Like, I watched them play against BC in person, and Buddy Boeheim, he was just he was doing some stuff in that game. I was like, oh, okay. I think he had like 10 or 12 threes in that game. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was one of those. It was just like everything's going in. It was one of those. So I saw them like these dudes are good, and then when I look at their scores in other games, I'm like, okay, this ain't the same team. But
yeah, it all depends what Syracuse team comes to play. But tournament time, they're always ready to go.
Yeah, definitely. So they got a tough Houston team coming up. But we'll see how Houston deals with that zone, because you don't see that 2-3 type of zone on a consistent basis. So first half, if they don't figure it out, they'll be in trouble. So we'll see what happens with that. And then lastly, man, VCU. Ooh, it was a tough one for them. They had to forfeit because of COVID, and this was just tough. It was tough when I heard the news about that. I'm like, this one's tough for the players, for the coaches, especially the coaches, but especially for the players, because you don't get this opportunity to play in the tournament, and and for you to forfeit, it's kind of sad.
You only have 4 years of your life to be able to play in the tournament. You know what I mean? And it's unfortunate that 1 year has been taken away from these kids just due to virus that we still don't really know what it really is. Yeah. And especially, it's just unfortunate, man.
Especially for the seniors, because that'll be their junior and senior year. They didn't get a chance to play in the tournament because what happened, tournament got canceled last year, and now this. So it's very unfortunate, and they were a pretty good team too. They were a pretty good team. So it's a tough break for them. But I think most people was like expecting something like this to happen because it happened so much throughout the season.
I think people were expecting more teams to have COVID, and more cancellations for them to only have one team have to forfeit for the whole entire tournament.
Yeah,
that's pretty impressive. You know what I mean? As unfortunate as it is for the NCAA in the tournament, it's pretty impressive based on their track record last year and how many teams didn't finish the season and canceling games and everything. So they're doing their best to try to keep everything afloat and finish it out, and I think they're doing a decent job of it.
Yeah, definitely. And then some other NCAA, some other games that happened. All right, Oregon, they defeated Iowa. Oregon was supposed to play VCU, so they got the win, and they defeated Iowa, got Iowa up out of there. They handled Iowa too.
Nobody believed Iowa was going to do anything. All they had was Gaza, and he kind of reminds me of Tyler Hansbrough.
Yeah, I watched Gaza play, and I'm like, this dude doesn't have the best conditioning, because I watched him, and I was like, oh, he's tired. And it's like 10 minutes left in the first half. Like, this dude's already like, you know what I'm saying? But hey, he 4-year career. Congratulations to him. But the Big Ten took a bad hit this tournament because Michigan's the only team remaining. They had 9 teams, and Michigan's the only one that got to the Sweet 16. So that conference is looking a little overrated to everyone. Gonzaga, another performance. This was a tight game against Oklahoma. It was tight, but their experience got them through. I don't like that dude's mustache though. On Gonzaga, I forget his name, but he got that Ben Stiller in dodgeball mustache.
Yeah. The Fu Manchu.
Yeah, he got that. He's nice though, but
I gotta check. I be forgetting them guys' names. I just know Suggs.
Yeah, Suggs. They had a good game, and Oklahoma played them tough, but at the end it was just the experience and inexperience.
Yeah, they got too many guys too. Yeah, man. They got like the platoon in Kentucky. They just got so many guys coming off the bench,
and they got like 3 or 4 NBA guys too. So that tough one. Creighton, to my surprise, they're going to the Sweet 16. They defeated Ohio. I thought Creighton wouldn't even make it past the first weekend.
To your surprise? Come on, man.
No, because everything that happened. That's why. And the way they ended the season, they were just playing bad. But
but the guys still gotta go out there and produce. You know, Marcus Zagorowski was about to, wasn't gonna let us down, man.
Yeah.
Another state product. Shout out to Zach. Dad's a cool guy.
Yeah, congratulations to Creighton, but I was wrong. I was wrong in a lot. I'll show you. In a second, I'll show you my bracket, but yeah, that was terrible. Michigan, third straight Sweet 16. I'm sorry. They had a tough one against LSU. That was a good game. LSU was playing them tough. They were going back and forth, and then Michigan, I think, was it Brooks? Is that? I forget.
Yeah, shooter.
Yeah. And then the other one, too. He was,
Wagner.
No, he was the dark-skinned one. I forget his name.
Oh, some junior.
Yeah.
He's the transfer from Wake Forest or something like that?
He was. Him and Brooks were out there shooting that rock, and they got them energized, and they paid. Once those guys started hitting threes, the defense picked up, and it was just a wrap for them. And man, Juwan Howard, Michigan is about to. The way they're going and the way they're recruiting, man, it's about to be tough. All right, Florida State, another team that's been nice all year. They're moving on to the Sweet 16. Florida State just tough. This is going to be a tough one. I think Florida State and Michigan are going at it. That one is going to be a dogfight between those two. So,
you know who I got.
Yeah, we know. All right, Kansas. Woo, the way they went out. USC beat the dog crap out of them.
I like the Mobley. What they call it? The Mobley Monsters or Mobley Madness? They was calling it.
Yeah, this wasn't even close. It was just from start to finish. It was a beatdown, and this isn't. And people been saying, "Oh yeah, this isn't your typical Kansas team. They're just not that good." As previous Kansas team, they just don't have.
I haven't heard much about Kansas this season.
Yeah,
really at all.
Only thing I've been hearing about Kansas this year is that they're not that good. So, yeah, this shows it. UCLA, they move on to the Sweet 16 with another one. Those guys, another one. They got shooters everywhere. They got shooters. Dude that looks like Bob Marley, with the dreads.
Oh, Tiger.
Yeah.
With the wicks. He got them wicks, boy.
Yeah, man. This UCLA team's tough, but that's another team. The Pac-12, the Pac-10, they got so overlooked by everyone, but they turned out to do the best in this tournament.
Yeah, man. Tournaments, it's like a flip of a coin every year. What conference is going to be the best? You just don't know what guys go out there perform. But I like UCLA. Like I told you before, like whoever won out of that Michigan State UCLA game was going to beat BYU. And I had them going deep in the tournament.
Yeah, so, definitely.
Unfortunately, I picked Michigan State to beat UCLA.
Oh, well.
But but Juzang and what's it, Hami Vasquez out there doing some things.
Definitely. And then Alabama, they knocked off Maryland to move on to the Sweet 16. And Alabama and Arkansas, those two sleepers of mine, they're actually not doing too bad. So congratulations to all those teams that are moving on to the Sweet 16. But yeah, and guys, look at my bracket real quick. That's my bracket. It's a hot mess. Yeah, it's a hot mess. We won't even talk about it, how trash that thing was. Illinois. I should have known better. All right. Quickly, before we move on to the NBA, some notes from the NCAA Women's Tournament. UConn defeated Syracuse to move to the Sweet 16. Paige buckets, 20 points. Had another outstanding game. Shelby going at it with Caitlin from Iowa. Those two are going to go at it in the next round.
She's nice.
Caitlin had 35 in Iowa's win over Kentucky. Woo! She's been the story of the tournament on the female side so far.
She got some moves. She got the hezzy, all that.
Yeah. And last night, Texas A&M on the buzzer beater by Jordan Nixon. They defeated who the heck they defeat? They won on the buzzer beater. I forgot who they beat, but they won. After the previous game, they almost gave the game away. The previous game, they almost gave it away. Okay. Got fortunate. The refs didn't call it over and back. It was something. All right. NC State, they defeated South Florida 79-67. Jakia Brown-Turner had 19 points for them. Iowa defeated, I already talked about that. Georgia Tech defeated West Virginia 73-56. Lata Maj Latinen had 22 points, yeah. Michigan's boys and girls team are going to the Sweet 16. The women's side, they defeated Tennessee 70-55. Leigh Brown had 23 points. She was 11 for 11 from the free throw line.
Okay.
Aaliyah Boston, one of the best players in the nation from South Carolina, had 19 points in South Carolina's 59-42 win over Oregon State. Baylor girls.
But every female game I seen in the for the tournament, women, I don't know why I said female, every women's tournament game was a blowout. Yeah. So I didn't even watch much of it.
Yeah, Baylor,
which is one of them.
Them girls, they're like grown women.
So they are women.
they're like grown.
Oh, you mean like 30s with kids?
Yeah, like they play like
going to PTA meetings.
Right, yo, the way they be playing, man, those girls are tough. And then Stanford, they defeated Oklahoma. And Haley Jones had 17 points, but yeah, we don't really see too many blowouts in the women's game because, as you said, we talked about this last week. Women, they don't want to give you any type of confidence. Like when they know they're head and shoulders better than you, they're not even going to sleepwalk. They're just going to make sure they get you out the way so you have no chance. And that happens a lot in the women's game.
Yeah, they don't play no games.
They definitely don't. I think there's probably like 2 or 3 upsets.
And I also feel like they don't talk as much about sportsmanship in regards to like beating girls too bad at that level compared to like guys. Somebody's always complaining about something.
Yeah.
And they just let women be women on the court.
Yeah, this is true. All right, let's go to Athletes Corner real quick. We got the St. Mary's girls. A couple of them talked about this season. One, she's going to Sacred Heart University. The other is going to be a junior next year, and Jessie, she's nice. A little nice. She's nice. But she's gonna be a junior next year, but they've had a good run the past couple of years. We talked to them, and we're gonna come back talk some NFL. Hello and welcome to another edition of Athletes Corner, and today we have 2 special guests from St. Mary's. We have senior Maiya Bergdorf And we have sophomore, I see Queliz. How y'all doing?
Good.
Good. You guys just wrapped up your season. You got on ending the season on a positive note. Maybe before we get into everything, just overall, what did you think of the season and how everything went despite the COVID and the condensed schedule from normal years?
It was hard at first because we got shut down for 2 weeks in the beginning, and that really set us back. We only got to play one game. We were really hoping for just a season that was very uninterrupted, since it was a very different season than last year, especially. And we just kind of went through with it. We got through those 2 weeks, and we were like, okay, now we have to take advantage of, the time we do have together, and we have to play our hardest every single game because we don't know what game is going to be our last game.
Mm-hmm.
And playing like 5 games, like
You still there?
like oh okay, like playing like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, no practice in between. It was like kind of hard, but we kind of
When we came back, like right when we came back, we went on like a stretch of like 4 or 5 games in a row.
And how exhausting was that? Because usually it's guys in a normal year, you guys will probably play every other day or twice a week or maybe 3 times a week. But there were times you guys played. There were times there was a game every day of the week, and no breaks in that. Just how did that? How was that for you? Just that experience?
Mentally, it was challenging to all of us. We had to keep the mindset of next game. We have to improve. We have to, we have to keep our health, like our bodies healthy. We have to, just push forward and keep going and keep getting better and doing like the same good things that we did in the first game. And, that's very hard on an athlete. We're not used to playing like all the time, every single day with no practice in between, where we can't really work on what we struggled with. So.
Yeah, Yirsy, can you talk about that? The no practice aspect, not having as much practice time together as you guys would like.
I think it was a little bit like challenging because it was like a good game one day, and then like a bad game the other, and then 3 games good, and then it was like a up and down week.
Yeah,
but it was good, challenging.
Yeah. And overall, you guys had a good season, a 21 season. Just talk about some of the highs and the lows of the season.
Well, we did beat Fenwick 3 times in a row. That was really like our big thing, even though our first game wasn't very good, because that was one of our first games back in the run that we had of 4 games straight. And, we were all mentally exhausted and physically exhausted from the games before. And, we like to make a statement, and obviously Fenwick is our rival school, but, we had Stang and Feenan come into our league this year. We went 1-1 with Feenan, but the first game that we came out, we were a little iffy on that game. Yeah. Because we just came off of an iffy win. We won, but it was like we had to really dig down into like whatever we had, the last energy we had. The second game we played our hearts out, but a lot of mistakes led to, why they won. Yeah. But overall, we put our hearts out this whole entire season into every single game. Every loss we had, it was, we still fought back, trying to get on top. It wasn't like any of us ever gave up. Obviously getting shut down in the beginning was a really, hit us all. And we were like, oh, like, are we ever going to be able to go back? All the seniors were like, oh, okay, well, we just have to keep our hopes up. We just want to, when we get back, we want to drill everyone. We want to go through and, show the underclassmen, our leadership. And obviously Yirsy has like lived up to that, because like our last game, she was phenomenal the last game.
Mhm.
Even when, I almost fouled out. I was out of the game early. Alyssa fouled out of the game at the end. Then we were in a lot of foul trouble, but she never really gave up on that.
Actually, talk about your role, as a sophomore, getting a lot of playing time and being the point guard. Just talk about the role in your team and how the upperclassmen were able to trust you to, just go on and keep the show going.
Well, everybody was telling me like, be a leader, and I was like, I've been, like, I was trying to, and it just feels like good to be that type of player with good players too, like Maiya hitting her 1,000 points. I want to get to that too. And like the seniors too, this season was for them. We were like, let's just do this for the seniors. And being a sophomore, like as a starting point guard, it just feels like great.
Yeah.
Because not every player can do it.
Yeah, definitely. And also you guys have 5 seniors on the team. Just, how were they very helpful? Because that's a lot of experience right there, 5 seniors on the team for a young player. Because sometimes it could be hard. Sometimes, they could just cheer you up. Just, just talk about the 5 seniors and how they were helpful for you.
Well, every practice they were like on us the whole time. They didn't let us give up like that. And was it Van? I think Van was her only one, and then PJ was her too. So the 2. So it was like the beginning of the season was only Maiya, Mukala, and Alyssa, and it was like kind of hard. But then when they all got together, it was like they brought up the team. So we all came closer and closer.
Yeah. Can you guys talk about the first ever CCL Cup? This was the first ever one. Obviously, no state tournament.
Yeah.
You guys were able to host it at home for having the best record. Can you just talk about that experience in the first ever type of tournament?
Yeah, there was a lot that went into that. We were all bummed out when we found out that, we can't go to the Garden again. We can't go to UMass Lowell again. That was like probably like the highlight of my season last year was, experiencing that with like the great people. And, we only lost 3 seniors, so it wasn't that big an impact to our team this year because we still had we had 8 returners this year, so that was a good amount of people who were returning to a varsity team. And having Coach Newhall was like, winning the CCL Cup was probably harder than anything, like harder than the championship that we won, the state championship that we won last year. We played, our league is pretty strong, and we played teams that we already played in the regular league 3 times. We played Fenwick 3 times, which is very hard to do. And, they give out a fight, and we put everything out on the floor for that CCL Cup, no matter who it was. The first opening game against Austin Prep doesn't matter, who the team is. We kind of just we're like, okay, this is equivalent to a state championship. We have to give it our all like we did last year. We can't give up, and we have to, bring each other up.
I'll circle back to last year in a second, but tell me about tell me about that championship game. Just overall, just tell me about that championship game. How fun it was. How mentally tough you ladies had to be for that game.
Even though I had 3 fouls in the first, half, I still that usually brings me down a little bit. But our energy in that game, even on the bench, was just so out of this world. We were all in the game. I wasn't even mad that I got 3 fouls. I was, just supporting our team, and it was just such a different circumstance. That was my last game, I wanted to make the most of it, and I wanted everyone to feel that this is the team that you want to be on, and that was our goal the whole entire season, was to prove to the younger kids and like show to everyone else that this is like the team.
Mm-hmm.
I think our energy off the court and on the court, like our bench and the fives on the court, it was like the best thing. I think that was the best energy we've had the whole year.
Yeah.
That.
Can you talked about playing in the Garden last year and the year before? You guys brought back a good team to make another run at it. First for you, Yirsy, just as a freshman, you were able to go to Lowell and then go to the Garden. Fortunately, not able to play in the state tournament, but talk about those two games. I want to know about those 2 games for you as a freshman, just being able to be a part of that, because that's not a lot of freshmen. Well, not a lot of players get to go up to those 2 arenas to play in high school. Just talk about for you to do it as a freshman.
Well, my first time going to the Garden, I was in 8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one was a freshman. It was last year, I think. Mm-hmm. When I came, I had no clue like what was going on.
Yeah.
So I was just like, wow, I'm playing at the Garden. That's crazy. And I was like my dad, his dream is like watch a game at the Garden. I was like, wow, so he's watching me play at the Garden. Mm-hmm. Something that he wanted to. So it felt amazing. Like having people watch me play as a freshman or 8th grade. And it felt amazing. Mm-hmm.
And we are back. Time to talk some NFL news quickly. We're going to get into some quick NFL news. All right. The Giants have been busy during free agency. They signed another playmaker. They signed a few people. They signed defensive back Adoree Jackson, who the Titans released. He was a former first-round pick. And then they signed Kenny Galladay to be their number 1 wide receiver to a 4-year, $72 million deal. And then they revamped their defense, too. Got some guys on defense. Re-signed Leonard Williams and stuff. NFC East, it looks like it's going to be a two-team race between Washington and the Giants. This is dependent on Danny Dimes, if he can actually play good enough quarterback. Because Danny Dimes has a problem, and that problem is holding on to the football.
I guess we're just going to have to see. I don't have much comments for the New York team when I'm a New Englander. So, wish him the best.
It's interesting that he signed with the Giants, and there were other teams that were probably better off to make Super Bowl runs than the Giants that were interested in him. But he just...
Hold on, who signed with the Giants?
Kenny Galladay, the receiver from Detroit. He's nice, but...
Oh, see, I don't know too much about him because Detroit, they barely get TV time up here.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Yeah. So.
And, once football season ends, I end football listening until preseason at least. I like to, get involved with all the sports around the world.
Yeah. Also the Bucks. The Bucks, they brought back the crew. They re-signed pretty much all the people they re-signed. They just re-signed Ndamukong Suh to a 1-year deal, $10 million, which I think...
Bro, only an egotistical idiot would want to go somewhere else. You want the money, you want to win. You probably just want to stay there.
And he's got a lot of money off the field from his tech stuff that he's been doing. So he's in that. So they just want to repeat. The Bucks literally just want to repeat, and they've brought back everybody to do so. Granted, they haven't signed Antonio Brown or Leonard Fournette yet, but they could find other. They got plenty of receivers in there if they don't bring those 2 guys.
I think they're coming back. Only a fool would it.
Unless somebody throws money at them, because Antonio Brown, he's like, I already got a ring. I got all these receiving records. Throw money at me? Why not? But Leonard Fournette, they're probably gonna find a way to bring him back. Because that 2-headed monster.
And if you win another ring, you're gonna get the money's still gonna come.
And he's only 25.
Yeah, I don't know. I ain't got
All right. as I said, we'll give you some more NBA news as they come with these trade deadlines. Another one just happened. The Clippers have traded Lou Williams to Atlanta for Rajon Rondo. So,
hey,
two future second round picks.
You know what that means? Lou Williams can get as much wings as he likes,
and he's back home.
Yeah, man.
So
you got to get no wings. My God, he got a permanent table over there, dog. Already got his name on it.
Alright, some serious news. This Deshaun Watson saga that's happening right now, man, it just keeps getting worse and worse. More cases and more people starting to come out. And
yeah, when I texted you about that the other day, like I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
My mind was kind of blown, and then I'm like, just like in the Texas smear job, because when people try to leave something, all of a sudden all this stuff. I feel like they suppress stuff for so long when you're doing well and when you're doing what they ask of you, and then all of a sudden you want to go the other way, and they let the cat out the bag. And I hope this ain't true.
This is just the details on this.
I hope that's not true. That's disgusting.
That
man.
is very disturbing. It's like, dude, you're preying. I mean, if these allegations are true, it's like you're preying on massage therapists. It's like you're flying them out. You're finding them on Instagram and all that. It's like stuff that don't make sense, because it's like you've been in Houston long enough. I'm sure there's plenty of massage places there that you could have gotten yourself accustomed to, and so you could have trust, and they could have trust in you, and you could have trust in them. Just start hitting random massage therapists up on Instagram.
I didn't even dive that deep into the story. I just seen like 10 or 12 cases, and I was like, all right, yo, I'm good with all this. I ain't, me having a daughter, I can't even read certain stuff.
Yeah, the details on it is just like, yo, it's like, if this is true, it's like, dude, you were preying on massage therapists, and it's
off camera. I'll ask you what was
disturbing.
What was the
very, very disturbing. So when more details come, we'll give you more details when they come in. But once again, we have to remember these are just allegations right now, so we can't just, let's wait till everything plays out and how it all plays out. But it doesn't look good. It does not look good at all. All right,
crazy.
Gonna give you some highlights, some high school football highlights from Saturday. Kip Academy in Greater Lowell. Some high school football highlights, and then we're going to come back around the world of sports and wrap this up. I know we're doing this a little bit in reverse, but, that's just how things are going today. So check these highlights out, and then we'll come back. Okay, let's go around the world of sports before we wrap this up quickly. In the NBA news, the Lakers great Elgin Baylor passed away earlier this week at the age of 86. Man, this year just, it's, man.
Yeah, man, it's a wild year, bro.
Very wild.
Sad year.
Yeah, rest in peace to Elgin Baylor. Mm-hmm. LeBron James, he's out indefinitely after injuring his ankle versus the Hawks. So I was looking on Twitter, and I just kept seeing people saying stuff about LeBron, and I thought, yo, is this dude done for the season? The way people are tweeting and stuff like that, it was like, oh no, he just hurt his ankle and he's out indefinitely. I'm like, yo, y'all folks are mad dramatic the way y'all tweeting, because y'all was making it seem like his season was over.
And they saw him with a boot, so they panicked. People.
Yeah, well, I'm like, yo, I gotta relax. It's an ankle injury. I know ankle injuries aren't the prettiest things, but he could come back.
And he hasn't really been that injured
until he got to LA.
I mean, not even that, but he hasn't been as injured since that first year in LA.
Yeah.
So him rolling the ankle was like, oh my God, he ain't been injured in 2 years. Oh, it's the end of the world. Like, no, he did something a basketball player does.
Yeah, every basketball player has hurt their ankle at some point. LaMelo Ball, he's done for the season. He had to have surgery on his wrist. He had hurt his wrist. I think it was on his shooting hand too. So, kind of sad too. He was having a great rookie season, but man, it always sucks when I hear NBA players done for the season because of their wrist, and I'm just like, out of all the things too, because granted you need your wrist to shoot and stuff like that, but it's just like, out of all the things for them to be done for the season for him, is like a hurt wrist.
Hopefully he's able to pick up, where he left off and continue that momentum.
Definitely. All right, and the Bruins are at it today. Tonight they will be playing against the Islanders. Their game against the Islanders was postponed on Tuesday, so they're back on the ice tonight at like 7. All right, some high school sports news. Kip Academy and Lynn Tech's matchup on Friday is canceled due to COVID tests not coming in on time. I believe that was the reason. So Kip Academy is currently looking for an opponent for this weekend, and yeah, that's just weird. All right, and then tomorrow, crosstown rivals, Lynn English, Lynn Classical at Lynn Classical. Both schools won yesterday. The English boys and girls defeated Everett. Classical boys defeated Malden. The girls lost by 4 to Malden. And, yesterday was interesting games between Lynn English boys and girls with Everett. The boys were sleepwalking through most of the games. You know how Tone gets when they're not playing the way he wants them to play.
Yeah, we're different.
Yeah, they were on that. They were on that bull yesterday, and yeah, they're like in their own heads and stuff. But at the end, they made enough plays to win the game. And then the girls' game, them girls. If y'all haven't seen the Lynn English girls play yet, y'all need to watch some of these. Y'all need to go online and watch the videos or watch the recap of the games, because them girls are tough.
That's one of our biggest premise with our team, being tough, fast, physical, kind of like how we grew up, how we played, just aggressive from jump. We were like 10 hyenas, all trying to get one piece of chicken, But also too, give all the credit to Everett too. Like, them girls was big, they was tough.
Number 22, that girl.
Number 22.
She was tough.
They played. It was 11.
Oh, yeah.
They were all big, and our girls were intimidated at first because we don't have much size. We got a lot of speed, and they're tough, and they had to realize that.
The thing I sent you the text yesterday. I said if this was last year's team, they would have lost just off intimidation.
Yeah,
but. This year's team, those girls, they do not care. Because when we watching them play, they just, they're just out there playing. They don't care if they mess up. If they mess up here and there, they don't let it get to them. They just, it's the next play. We're going to make the next play.
And they don't realize, too, I told them, there's no other teams playing and practicing as hot as you are in females and girls basketball in this state. I really don't care who it is. To be honest, sometimes we're playing against lunch aides. Mm-hmm. So, it's them girls can't even physically compete with our girls just because of the shape. And I'm kind of what are these other teams doing in these other conferences? You know what I mean? We got to just put out a better product as a whole. And people wonder what the issue with female basketball or women's basketball starts at the ground. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're not developing girls basketball players. Girls just think it's just regular club basketball. Yeah. Over here, it's if you don't want to be a hooper at English, don't come to English play basketball. Yeah. And, the thing about women's basketball is when you play a team that's head and shoulders better than you, they'll let you know that they're head and shoulders better than you, because they will be relentless from the tip off until the game's over. So that's the thing with the women. I know you said it sometimes in the boys' game they have this, this delusion. The delusional confidence, and that's why that's why you see a lot of upsets in men's basketball. Yeah, we all think we nice. Yeah. We all think everybody should go D1 and be the number one pick in the draft, but it don't work like that for most people. So, and with girls, we have to help develop that confidence, and convince them that they're good basketball players, because some of them don't even understand that they are good basketball players.
And then when you get the ones that do buy in, you get
what you saw last night.
What you saw yesterday. Because, man, I like watching them. It's like me since watching when you guys got in. I'm like, okay, this is what they've been trying to do for the past 5 years. This is when they first got to the program.
Yeah, man, because granted, it wasn't a blowout, nothing, but we were down, came back. It was a game of runs, you know what I mean? And like I said, last year, actually, every year except for this year, they would have crumbled.
Yeah.
Just because, like, we had a couple plays that would go, but as a whole, they would just crumble because they're so used to just being defeated.
Yeah.
They haven't really dealt with adversity on their own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They with their family they have, but by themselves they haven't.
Yeah,
or
definitely.
with their group they haven't.
Definitely. So yeah, we'll be there. I'll be there at Lynn Classical tomorrow, so that's gonna be a good one, a doubleheader. Also, check out the highlights on LCTV After the Whistle Instagram page. The highlights from those games last night will be up there. The boys' highlights is up. The girls' highlights will be up at some point today. And yeah, make sure you check us out. LynnTV.org. Go to the website. We got a lot of stuff happening. There's a lot of stuff coming up we got going on. Check the website out. Facebook page, Lynn Community Television, YouTube channel, all that good stuff. Make sure you check him out. Mr. Burton 23 on Instagram. Mukala K on Instagram. Also, Poetry Jam. Look at the screen. Information's on there. If there's no submissions by the 31st, then I'll be here announcing that it won't be happening. So if you don't submit, we ain't gonna do it. And
also, shout out to Tommy Hill. She got the little Love for Lynn clothing line that be helping, unfortunate people that go through certain circumstances and stuff.
Non-profits.
Yeah, non-profit.
It's all about the non-profits over here. We supporting the non-profits.
Man. And condolences to the Johnson family. They lost, the strongest backbone in their family, Miss Ella Johnson. So condolences to everybody.
Definitely condolences to all of them. We all know them. Those guys, they're my guys. AC, Sorrell's crazy stuff and all that. But
I was with Justin the other day.
Yeah. Condolences to their family, and we will be back probably Wednesday, unless they have a game on Wednesday. But Wednesday we'll be back. If not, we'll see you Thursday. But Wednesday we are out of here. Have a good one.